Welcome to the Fredonia Central School Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. We begin each meeting with a pledge of allegiance, so please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So before we approve the agenda for tonight, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Paula Melke. Paula was a retired Fredonia speech language teacher. She recently passed away. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight we have an agenda with consent. It includes personnel, it excludes A1, and also consent under new business, but excludes G through J. Do I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
First and a second, there we go. Okay. Is there anything that anyone would like to hold within the consent? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that leads us to our first hearing from the public. The board has reserved this time to hear comments from the audience. Those wishing to address the board are asked to stand, give their name and address. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Concerns and comments during this session should be directly related to the items listed on the proposed agenda for this meeting. Is there anybody who would like to address the board tonight? Nice full house. Students, thank you for coming tonight. Trying to make it efficient. All right, we'll move on. So the next item is to approve the minutes from the facilities meeting of February 4th, 2025. Can I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
Ms. Warner, second.
Second.
Ms. Keller, thank you. Any questions on the facilities meeting? All in favor? Opposed? Also, we have the regular meeting minutes, February 18th, 2025. A motion to bring that to the table. So, Mr. Marshall, second. Ms. Ford, thanks. Any questions on the regular meeting minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Well, before our financial treasurer's report, we have a special presentation. We have a National Merit Scholar finalist announcement. So that's pretty exciting news.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Paschke momentarily, but part of what we do at board meetings is celebrate good news and good work and accomplishments of adult students, possibly even family members. And tonight we have an opportunity to do that. And I've got to know Ben a little bit over the course of the last couple of years. Very intelligent, involved young man, and really a great part of our school community. So I'm going to let Mr. Paschke kind of lay out what this is and why we're celebrating, and maybe have a moment to snap a few pictures afterwards. So.
Good evening.
Hello.
So the National Merit Scholarship is based on PSAT scores, and Ben being a finalist is quite remarkable because out of the about 1.6 million students who take it, fewer than 1% make it this far. So in my memory, I don't remember having a finalist at Fredonia. It may have happened a long time ago, but not that I can remember. So this is a very distinct honor for Ben. So I just have a very short thing. I'm going to read this. I'm taking some cold medicine. I don't want to go sideways on this. So here's what I wanted to say. It is my great honor to recognize an outstanding student from Fredonia High School who has demonstrated exceptional academic achievement, dedication, and intellect. Today, we celebrate Ben Fight, who has earned the prestigious distinction of being named a National Merit Scholarship finalist. The National Merit Scholarship Program is one of the most competitive academic recognitions in the country, with only a small percentage of students reaching the finalist stage. This achievement is a testament to Ben's hard work, perseverance, and commitment to excellence. Ben's success is not his alone. It is also a reflection of the support and encouragement that he has received from his family. I'd like to acknowledge his parents, Neil Feit and Julia Wilson, for the role that they've played in fostering his love of learning and intellectual curiosity. On behalf of Fredonia High School, it is my privilege and honor to present the certificate recognizing Ben Feit as a National Merit Scholarship finalist. Congratulations, Ben. We are incredibly proud of you and look forward to all of the great things that you will do. Ben has declined a comment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, Ben. I have to say, I've watched him grow up since he was a little boy on Curtis Place. I'm proud to say he's my neighbor. And one thing that I take away is he walks with his dad a lot, and I think it's pretty cool how they have a special relationship. And not a day goes by I don't see them, not in the wintertime. In the summertime, come on. It's fantastic. So congratulations to the dad also.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Any other comments? All right, well, moving into the financial piece here, we have to approve a 31-day emergency transportation contract. Can I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
Ms. Fontaine for a second. Mr. Marshall, thank you. I guess Mr. Forbes on this one.
This is a foster placement in Westfield, and as you can imagine, based on the conversations we've had, the transportation for students is incredibly difficult. We were lucky to even have a bid at this rate, which is high, obviously. All the other providers that are out there, all the districts are suffering from the same thing here, lack of drivers or unable to just adjust to these different placements. It becomes difficult for the district when you're well out of the district line. So we appreciate Corvus taking us on for a 31-day contract that we have in front of us. With foster placements, I always take it a little bit slower and do a 31-day and even a second 31-day to make sure that placement is good for the child. And everything works out before I go to the field and go for it. We do appreciate Corvus taking us on for that.
Any questions at all? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now on to some bids. We need to approve a standard form of agreement between owner and the architect, document B-132, 2019. Could I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
Is that Ms. Porter? A second?
Second.
Ms. Keller, thanks. So Dr. Zilios, is this a proper one?
Yeah, so we are moving forward again, thanks to the community for supporting Prop 1. Again, the cost involved is about $22.1 million, and in all of those estimates and figures from Young and Wright includes their fee, and will also include, as we get to the next resolution, also a construction manager in Buffalo Construction. So all this is built into the cost. This is not anything new or unexpected, nothing on top of that amount. So this is all part of the plan, and we're excited to be moving forward with all the work covered under Prop 1 that we shared with the community leading up to the vote. So, yep. Any questions at all on that? Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that was Young and Wright. We also have one from Buffalo Construction. They bid approve the standard form of agreement between owner and construction manager as advisor, document 1C 132 2019. Motion to bring that to the table. So Mr. Marshall, a second. Yeah, Ms. Hahn, sorry.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Zilios, anything on this?
Yeah, so just to differentiate a little bit, so Young and Wright is involved in the planning, the designing, what things will look like, and then the construction manager is really involved in the execution and the actual work getting done on a day-to-day basis. Part of this contract will be having somebody who oversees the entire project, somebody who will be on site for the vast majority of that time, and really be group that's involved in the day-to-day construction work that's done throughout the length of the project. So we're happy to have Buffalo Construction on board. We have worked with them in the past, have a great relationship. They did a very nice job in the last capital project. And between Young and Wright and Buffalo Construction, we feel like we have a really good team to get this work done in an efficient and timely way. So we're moving forward.
Good. Moving forward. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a third bid to approve the bid from Stoll Environmental for the pre-renovation survey required for the 2024 capital improvement project. I have a motion to bring that to the table.
So moved.
Ms. Cullo, thank you. A second?
Second.
Ms. Ford, thanks. Dr. Zoyac, this is a little different, right? This isn't drop one, right?
Correct. This is connecting back to the work. You know what, where are we with this one, John?
Stoll Environmental does the construction testing, make sure there's no hazardous materials, asbestos, those kinds of things. We do have annual reports that pretty much indicate there shouldn't be, but this just confirms before we take anything down that there's not a problem.
And this is for this summer's project?
This is actually for the big project.
Oh, this is for
This is in
the
the
part
project.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Any questions at all?
Thank you, Mr. Forbes.
And we have worked with Stoll in the past, and we have a great relationship with them as well.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's it for financial. On to personnel. Actually, one item under personnel tonight, but it's to approve the resignation with regret of David Winchell, head custodian, for the purpose of retirement, effective August 9th, 2025. Could I have a motion? So, Mr. Marshall, a second?
Second.
Ms. Ford, thank you. So, Dr. Zoyac.
Yeah, as we've talked about in several meetings now, you know, always bittersweet when someone leaves the district for the purpose of retirement. We're happy to see them move on and really reap the benefits of all their hard work over time. At the same time, they will be missed in the district, and Dave is no exception, long-time employee of the district. I think right after high school he started working for the district, and if you know Dave, in fact, I just had a situation the other day where I was home, I needed something from school, and without even asking him, he showed up at my door and was like, hey, here you go. Type of guy who will just do anything for you, very helpful, you know, just a polite, friendly man who comes to work every day and gets the job done. Mr. Forbes oversees facilities. Anything you'd want to say about Dave, John?
Yeah, Dave actually has worked, he's in his 41st year with us, one of our longest tenured employees, and between his resignation and Randy Penharlow's last meeting, we lost 71 years of experience in our buildings and grounds, so obviously there'll be a big gap there for us to fill. And as Brad mentioned, Dave is very dedicated to the district, started at Wheelock School early in his career, moved up here, and then became eventually the head custodian, and very willing to help at any point in time. So we appreciate all of his efforts and wish him well.
Big shoes to fill. Two spots there and positions, and he always delivers from Hackett on a Friday afternoon, so he's always there with it. So that's we wish him well in his retirement. Any questions at all? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's with regret. Okay. Well, we move into new business. Normally, we don't have much of it. It's not consent of new business, but tonight we've got quite a few. So let's see. The first is to approve a request to take students to Saratoga Springs, New York, April 26th, 27th, 2025, to attend the New York Press Association Awards for The Spectator. So that's pretty cool. Have a motion to bring that to the table.
So moved.
Ms. Hahn, a second. Ms.
Second.
Forden, thank you. Dr. Ziliakson, quite an honor. We keep winning it.
And we've mentioned this a couple times. Mr. Paschke has brought this up at, I think, the last two board meetings. And just a real opportunity to celebrate. That's the main reason it's out of consent tonight. And Mr. Paschke's always been nice enough to accompany the group on the trip. And we hope that they have a great time, well-deserved, and kind of icing on the cake to be able to go to Saratoga and participate in the ceremony and get in touch with and network people who are in the field of journalism, and you know, really a nice event. I don't know if there's anything else, Mr. Paschke, you would add there.
Just, I can't stress enough how cool it is to be there with professional journalists that, you know, that they're doing this, and big names, and people that reach out to our kids. They give them their cards, like, look me up, we'd be happy to work with you, you know, internships, those types of things. So it's a great opportunity for our kids to do that, and attend workshops that the professionals are attending to learn about advances in the field of journalism. So it's a great opportunity. Last year they had 2 really fantastic presentations on AI and how it's used in journalism, and some of the controversy with it and the problems that they're seeing with it, and how it's difficult to even own your own stuff because it gets scraped off the internet by these AI machines that take it and it becomes theirs. It's pretty wild. So the kids were interested in it, and I was very interested in it.
So, excuse me for not knowing, but do you drive every year?
Yeah, yes. So we've used all sorts of vehicles. We've used BOCES vehicles. They no longer have those. Last year we rented a vehicle, and this year I think there are only 3 kids that are going to be attending with us, so we might just drive in my Jeep. So
Wow.
Lisa and me in the front, and 3 kids in the back.
Probably don't even need Google Maps anymore.
No, we're not even there.
Off you go.
Pretty good. We know the good restaurants and a great coffee place there with bagels that are out of this world.
It's a great town.
Yep.
It's a great town to go to. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. All right. So we need to next rescind the motions made to accept the following policies. Policy from February 4th, 2025, equal educational opportunities, and a policy February 18th, 2025, Title IX, and sex discrimination. Can I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
Ms. Morgan, a second?
Second.
Ms. Gallo. So Dr. Zoyas, can you fill us in on this a little bit?
Yeah, a little irony here that over the last few meetings, we've approved both of these policies, and, you know, standard practice. The Title IX policy is about 20 pages, so our policy committee spent a significant amount of time looking and being thoughtful about some of the areas in which you have some choice as a district to set some time parameters and whatnot. But literally on the day that it was approved, the following day, I found out that the federal court in Kentucky vacated these regulations, which means that it reverts back to the policy that was in place prior, which is the policy that we had in place up until a couple weeks ago. So this resolution corrects that and takes us back to the policy that was in place prior. In my mind, you know, either one certainly protects the rights of individuals in the workplace, and certainly outlines a stand against any type of discrimination in the workplace, so there's not really a loss here in my mind. You know, I think the district is still in a good place, but we're adhering to the information we're getting from the courts and making those adjustments.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have a resolution issuing SEQRA, S-E-Q-R-A, negative declaration for proposed emergency capital project. Looks like this has to do with our telephone system. Could I have a motion to bring this to the table? Mr. Marshall, thank you. A second?
Second.
Ms. Caldwell, thanks. Dr. Zoliaks?
Yeah, so there's been some struggles with our phone system that our tech department has put some time and energy into, and we're starting to get this under control, and we were moving in the right direction. I think we're up to about 75% of our phones back online and moving towards 100. And then you might recall a couple weeks ago, we had a bit of a windstorm, and a transformer blew right down the road here. And that caused some disconnect in our system that took us all the way back down to about 25% of our phones being online. We continue to work on that. However, we now recognize that we really need to scrap our old system and implement and install something that is up to date and state of the art, and will really just correct this problem now and moving forward with an upgraded system, more robust, and I think just overall more helpful to the district. So there's a few different ways that you could do this. You could build this into a capital project. You could just pay for it outright out of general fund. But in this case, Young and Wright suggested, since there was an act of nature involved, sort of similar to the lightning that struck our chimney at Wheelock a couple years ago. That project, I believe, was about $250,000. That did qualify through state, and the state does need to approve this. And the advantage of doing that is, although we need to front the money, we do get that 82% state aid that is part of a capital project. And that would also come back to us in the following year, instead of being spread out in a longer duration. So we are pursuing that. We're applying to the state for their approval, and this resolution just indicates that there are no environmental concerns. This project would be indoors and within this building, so this is a negative declaration.
Yeah, unfortunate that we got it closed up and running and then the windstorm comes along, so hopefully we can get the positive outcome out of this. Any questions at all from the board?
Anything for insurance, or is it going to be similar to the chimney where we really don't get that much out compared to what our rates would go up?
Yeah, I think there's a few different factors involved, John. I don't know if you have any additional information, but at least the recommendation from Young and Wright is this is the way to go. The next resolution will set a max cost, which is pretty substantial, and I don't think that was anything that insurance was going to.
As Dr. Zoy said, the key component of this is the emergency aspect. If you don't get the emergency designation, then the state gets paid back over 15 years, so you're essentially fronting the full cost and then getting it back over 15 years as opposed to pay it now and within 6-8 months of the subsequent year you get it back. So it's a key designation, but it's obviously unexpected.
Any other questions? Or?
I just wanted to know, is there a certain fund we have to pay it out of, or how do you pay,
It comes out of general fund. If you did not get the emergency designation, you'd have to go through the same process we did with the building project, state that approval and the whole thing. So
Okay.
this allows you to go around that. There are specific strict criteria the state uses to designate emergency, and we don't know where we land with that exactly. Hopefully that the transformer being part of an act of God kind of thing would be helpful.
Okay. Any other questions?
What's the process? Is there a bid involved? How does that work? Who determines what the system is?
You know, once you got to, through the approval process, you'd have to look at whether the phone system that we could put in place would be a state contract, in which case you don't have to bid, or if it would be something that's outside of that, in which case you would have to bid. The other problem there is there aren't very many vendors that would be able to do that, so you're somewhat limited in that regard.
Okay. Any other questions?
Just to understand, we commit to paying the money, then we find out if the state's willing to give us the aid, and if they aren't, then we pay the money and don't get reimbursed?
And it's kind of all simultaneous. This is going to the state to get approval, we're getting quotes to see, and then at some point we'll have to make a decision that we're going to move forward or not with it.
Okay.
This doesn't lock you into anything other than that part of it.
Thanks.
Other questions? Or? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Piggybacking on that, another resolution dealing with the emergency with the phones. Resolution declaring the existence of an emergency situation. Kind of motion.
So,
Ms. Hahn, the second. Mr. Marshall, Dr. Zoix, anything further to add? Or?
No, this just gives a little more specificity around the work and does set a maximum amount that we could spend. This is, you know, probably worst case scenario, that would be $425,000. We were hoping that it's not that much, but with variables in the mix and some of the things are a little bit of unknowns in terms of running wire through ceilings and through different parts of the building, not exactly sure fully what you might encounter, so this is a number to make sure we wouldn't be short, but we're hoping that it would be less than that.
And just for informational purposes, part of the project would be running all new wire, all new cabinets and stuff, because the wire that is currently in there is not supported under the new system, so you have to, I forget if it's going from copper to copper, whatever it is different wiring you have.
Right. Any other questions from the board? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, well, that leads us to our second round of public comment. Is there anybody that would like to speak tonight to the board? All right. That brings us to our superintendent's report. So Dr. Ziliox, anything on the superintendent's report tonight?
Yeah, so, I appreciate it was Mr. Paschke who brought the idea up of having been here for, some celebration, and, particularly at this time of year, it's a little bit cold, it's a little bit dark, it's often gray, not a whole lot of sun, but until recently. And sometimes these winter months, you have people feeling a little bit down, but it's also nice to remember, especially at this time of the year, all the good things that happen across the district on a daily basis or as part of a yearly celebration. I just wanted to outline a couple things that have happened recently. Starting with Ben, again, congrats to him and his family, and Mr. Paschke, thanks for bringing that forward. Our most recent round of school concerts was fantastic. Everyone did a great job, band, chorus, orchestra, as well as the other ensembles. Thanks to everybody involved. Our high school chamber choir also performed this past weekend at a festival at SUNY Fredonia, and also did a fantastic job. I think there's a video in your weekly communication if you'd like to take a look at that. Also courtesy of Mr. Paschke, so thanks for that. Our winter sports season was also successful on multiple levels. We definitely had some big wins along the way and also some pretty disappointing losses. Every time I attend a game, I'm reminded of the value of sports and how it really goes beyond the wins and the losses. When you see our teams play, you absolutely notice the teamwork, the work ethic, the commitment, the ability to overcome adversity, winning with class, losing with some grace, and also really giving maximum effort and having a bit of grit in those moments when the game's in doubt or when things are down. And I really appreciate both our student athletes and our coaches exhibiting that over the course of the season. We also had some specific things happen within that season that were notable. Ryan Kelly qualified for the states in bowling, which is a great accomplishment. Our Steeler hockey team had a big win against Olean in a playoff game. Congrats to them. Both the boys and girls basketball teams swept Dunkirk, which never hurts this year. And I'm also really appreciate those games since I've been here. I've just had some real good positive energy about them, and although the rivalry can be intense, I think it's been friendly, or maybe more friendly than it's been in the past. We appreciate that. You might have noticed on our social media there was a picture from our boys basketball game in Dunkirk of our cheerleaders and their cheerleaders together, which was just a nice moment for everybody. Trent Krenzer did very well in boys swimming this year, eventually placing 6th in the section in his event. In terms of indoor track, we had Jordan Morris, Kaylee Draggett, Elizabeth Sanders, Marilla Russo, all place at the Section 6 meet. Again, remember that's Fredonia and Westfield combined for a team. We also had 2 girls wrestlers qualified for states this year, Michaela Hodkin and also Braylyn Wicks. They are both 8th graders, so that is a definite accomplishment. Michaela defeated the 2nd-ranked wrestler in our area to go to states, and Braylon actually defeated a senior from another school. So for 2 8th graders, very promising. Congrats to them. Our boys wrestling team had a great season. Part of being successful as a wrestling team is just being able to field a full roster, which we were able to do this year. Our numbers really increased, so congrats to our coaches and wrestlers on that. We also had Coach Bertrando earn his 100th victory as the varsity head coach with our district, and congrats to him. We had a number of teachers kind of moving on from the schools earn tenure over the last few months, and also some people announced retirements, again, like Dave Winchell, like Mr. Paschke, who have been here for a number of years. So, you know, this also gives us a moment to celebrate, look back on people's careers, and really thank them for all the hard work that they've done. We have already mentioned the success of the Spectator, but I had it in here as well. We had a middle school activity night, well attended, this past Friday. We continue to make progress in iReady with that beginning, middle, and end of the year assessments at both the elementary and middle school levels. We also continue to recognize Students of the Month at each of our schools and recognize the good work that's happening on a daily basis. And as Mr. Drowninger shared last meeting, the Golden Tray to encourage positive behavior in the cafeteria is underway. And what, Friday will be the first unveiling?
Ceremony.
Okay.
Passing through.
So, good stuff, and nice job on the videos that you're sharing. Well done. A couple other things that are just ongoing in the district. We are working on negotiations with the FTA and the SSSA, and we look forward to moving forward and having a productive negotiations with each of those associations. We are gearing up for our budget process. There'll be more to follow right here at our board meetings in public session on the budget for next school year. We are planning upcoming facilities project, as was mentioned. Again, the $100,000 project this summer will focus on the playground here on the main campus, and part of the Prop 1 capital project will also be the playground at Wheelock. So again, upgrading both of those playgrounds, especially thinking about accessibility for all students and safety as well. We have a half day coming up on Friday that features professional development for our adults in the afternoon. We continue to work at the building level around Leader in Me and how we will eventually roll out the idea of the 7 habits to our students, and hopefully eventually get to the place where all students and adults in our district are implementing those habits and mindset. We have parent-teacher conferences coming up next week. Spring sports will get underway here in about 2 weeks. Our high school musical is coming up March 21 and 22, and also 28 and 29. We've had a number of Fredonia Pride events and assemblies across the district over the last few weeks. We continue to ask students and adults if they see something that doesn't look right or catches their attention or they think is negative, please say something. Reach out to an adult, an administrator, a teacher, an aide, anybody, if you have some concerns. And also continuing with our focus on wellness. We also continue to make progress in the areas of literacy, curriculum review, intervention. Those are key components in our long-term plan, along with Leader in Me, social emotional learning, and also the facilities work. So regardless of the time of the year, the temperature, the amount of snow, the amount of sunlight, the real feel that might be out there on a certain day, how long until spring, there are always good things happening across the district, and I just wanted to recognize some of those things tonight and absolutely thank everybody, faculty, staff, administration, students themselves, Board of Education, families, for all their hard work and dedication to really helping our students be their best possible selves. So we keep moving forward, and we look forward to a good spring and a great end of the school year.
Sounds like a very busy place. Any comments from the board at all on the superintendent's report?
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. A lot being done. You know, we paid so much attention on the capital project over the year, and it's consumed us that we forget there's a lot of other good things going on, a lot of things. So thanks for that superintendent's report. The next regular Board of Education meeting will be Tuesday, March 18th, to 2025 at 6 p.m. here in the high school library. Are there any other general comments from the board before we hear from our administrators tonight? No, we're good? All right, well, Mr. Paschke, you're first up as usual.
Wednesday next week, we have our faculty meeting, and we're going to be focusing most of our time on leader and lead topics. We're going to be leading into really kicking this off with our extracurricular groups and tapping into the genius of each group. So it's kind of neat the way that we're going to approach this. We already have a lot of cool groups that with a bunch of leaders. We want to also include kids that are not necessarily in those groups to become better leaders as well. So what we're going to look at is we're going to have a team with 2 adults and a few students that are going to kind of be a leadership team. So as we come up with ideas and things to move in leadership in our school, we're going to start tapping. So for example, maybe they'll reach out to the student council for some of their genius, and then maybe they'll go to the game club for some of their genius and the art club for some of their genius, and bring these things together and create new things by tapping into the genius of different groups. So I think that's a really cool next step for us. We want to do it with something that we've already established I think we're very strong in our extracurricular offerings and clubs, and so we're going to kind of ground it there, and then in future years bring it into the classrooms with the teachers, and once we've established that language with our students, I think it's going to be a lot easier for our teachers to incorporate that into their daily lessons. And it's not like, hey, we're just going to start teaching a bunch of new stuff. It's just those 7 habits that are important, that everybody needs to be using the same language and practicing those 7 habits. And they're very simple, and one we're going to be focusing on at the beginning is change begins with me. So that's where the change begins, is we all have to be open to some new ideas and be the change that we want to see. So that's exciting. Brad, you mentioned the parent-teacher conferences, so I want to talk about that. Kind of a cool thing, I put out an email to our Chautauqua County principal group. You know, in our admin meetings, we've been talking about efficiencies and wanting to do things that are smart with our money. And one of our bigger costs is BOCES. And so I put something out, and this included the BOCES principles, that we have a BOCES 2.4 miles from our school, but we also have to send kids to the Carrier Center, and we're sending kids out to the Hughes Center, and we're sending kids to Cassadaga, and we're sending kids to Chautauqua Lake. And I don't know that there's a vehicle where there's input from the component districts of BOCES to say, like, hey, these are the things that we would like to see at our local BOCES. So I just put it out to that group of people to see what people thought, and I got quite a bit of feedback saying, that would be helpful, because we're all experiencing issues with transportation, and we might not have any kids that are participating in some of the programs that BOCES offers, and if we could look at tweaking some of those things, that would be neat. So that kind of filtered up in the BOCES up to Leo File and Robin Brown, who are in charge of the CTE parts of BOCES and the special ed parts of BOCES, and we're going to meet on March 17th just to start brainstorming some ideas and see what might come of that. So I thought that was kind of an exciting piece to look at, and hopefully we'll find some good opportunities for our kids that bring good things to them and are economical for our school.
Great. Yeah, well, thanks. It'll be good to hear the follow-up from that meeting and where it takes you, where it takes us.
Yeah, I think as a group, if all the schools are involved in this, it would be helpful. And that was a strong comment back to me, was that, like, yeah, we love our BOCES. This is not a kick, or nothing against BOCES, but it would be neat, just instead of them just offering this menu of items, that maybe we could have some input on what the menu is.
Yeah. Feedback's important. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Ms. Williams.
Yes, Dr. Zuliak was very comprehensive, and his report touched on a number of the things I was going to share. Certainly encouraging to have spring right around the corner, and that means spring sports. So this morning at arrival, I saw a lot of bats coming out of the cars on bat bags and the cleats on the top of them. So I thought, oh my gosh, it's time for softball and baseball. So that was exciting. Our girls are very excited with the modified flag football opportunity. So that will be starting here shortly. Friday, although there was a shift in our in-service day, we still have an opportunity to look, have some data team meetings with a BOCES expert around our iReady data and the growth that we can gauge from the fall to winter diagnostic. And aligned to the leader in me, some of our next steps have included incorporating some leadership opportunities with our students in the form of greeters. So they have strategic posts within our building that they are greeting students and staff, complimenting them, welcoming them to the building. You can identify them with an official lanyard and badge, so it's very official, and we're hoping to expand that too. But they are feeling very motivated and excited about it. We in fact had a status check last week to see how it was going, so we could get some feedback from them. So yeah, we're excited to expand that opportunity for them too.
That's great, thank you. Yeah, the iReady, I mean, at some point, hopefully we'll get to see some of the results you have, and it'd be great to see that. And yeah, it's a nice leader to me. It's, you know, so many programs come and go, but it seems like it's persisting.
Yeah.
And so that's fantastic. Yeah. Mr. Drollinger.
Yep, let's see, this Thursday, our English as a New Language department is running a culture fair. It's an all-day event in the elementary gym where the kids get a little passport and they go from table to table and they learn about different countries, currency, food, culture. There's a lot to do. So it'll be a good event. So if you're in the building, swing by the elementary cafeteria, but it's open to all buildings, I believe, right? Yeah, so it's a big event this year, which is kind of fun. I want to thank Dan Syracuse from the United Way. He called me up, and through some grants, he's coming in next week, and every student in the elementary school is getting a free picture book. So they're going to do a little presentation in all the classrooms and pass these picture books out. So we're pretty excited about that. Kids don't know yet, that's okay. And then next week, Monday, we've got the Irish dance team from the college coming in to get the kids ready for St. Patrick's Day, which is a really big holiday in the elementary school. It's a big deal. So we're kicking it off on Monday. And then lastly, this is Read Across America Week in conjunction with Dr. Seuss's birthday. So we do have some parents coming in and out of the building, but I also want to publicly thank Mayor Ferguson. He's coming in tomorrow to read. Assemblyman Andrew Molitor, he's coming in to read and taking some pictures. And Assistant District Attorney Emily Woodard. And these people are from the community who wanted to come into the building. So that's what we got going on with the elementary school.
Could you circle back to cafeteria country, what date?
Okay, so it's Thursday. It's Thursday.
This Thursday.
This Thursday in the big elementary cafeteria, or gym. I don't know what time it starts though. 9 to 3?
I think it's 9 to 3.
9 to 3. 9 to 3.
9 to 3.
Come on in, you get a passport, and you go to each little country, and you get a little stamp, and you learn along the way. So all of our kids have signed up, and there's like a schedule, but we've got room.
It's a very cost-effective way to visit countries. So.
You're right.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell.
Oh, thanks. I thought
Sorry.
you caught me off
She's a
guard.
board member.
Well, it's Read Across America Week. It's also National School Social Worker Week. So just an opportunity for us to recognize the really great work that our school social workers do. Kat Beyer, Cassie Farrell, and Ella Wiggers, we are beyond fortunate to have those ladies in our district. So I just wanted to mention that. And then in the future, March 21st is National Down Syndrome, or no, actually it's Global Down Syndrome Day. So it is a world event, and we will plan some special activities for students, really just to highlight the wonderful diversity of our global and school culture and communities, and recognize our friends with Down syndrome in our area.
Sounds like a great initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Wright.
Thank you. To build on what Mr. Drollinger was saying about the culture fair, I really just want to give a huge shout out to our ENL team. They just worked so hard across the district. Bonnie Burnett is the instructional leader for that, but her team with Suzanne Knowlton and Shannon Marsh and Aaron Lamp, along with Albert Ramirez, our Hispanic Outreach Coordinator, and Beatrice Rosario, who is an ENL teacher aide, who really does so much to support our students who are learning the English language in the school, in the elementary school. So they have worked tirelessly on this culture fair. Last year was really the first time, again since COVID, that they were able to have it and have people in and do it. So it's really an amazing thing. And one of the funding sources we get through the federal government, through ESSA, with the title grants, is Title III. And Title III money is specific to ENL students. And depending on the percentage of ENL students that your district has, either you keep the money in district or the money goes to the BOCES consortium. In our case, the money goes to the BOCES consortium. And what that allows us to do is they pool the money, and then they're able to really get things at a reduced rate, for funding and things like that. But you share with them what you're dedicating it to. So this year, we're using it for some summer ENL salaries for summer school, and our ENL teachers over the last few years have really morphed it into a summer camp experience, and they have it very targeted to the age groups. So for our high school, what they do is they pre-teach the courses the students will be experiencing, so that they already come in with some background knowledge and some vocabulary before ever entering into the classroom. And then it's a little bit different for middle school. It's kind of a combination. Then in elementary school, they're really hitting those literacy and math skills. So we have that going, planning for that for next year. I know it's just turning a nice warm day, but we're thinking about summer school. And then they're also going to be able to use some of that money for some after school this current school year, some after school support for ENL students, along with adding to our curriculum for summer school and after school. So each year we dedicate a little bit to curriculum, and over the years we've been building and building and building with this it's from the American Reading Company. It's this one summer series where they are immersed, and it's really neat because the way ENL works, it depends on where they are in their English language acquisition, and so it allows a topic, and the topic itself is differentiated into all of those areas, so the students can work together on it regardless of where their language acquisition might be. And it really pulls it. So, for example, this will be for the elementary grades, but it's working with early biology language and early biology concepts. So it's a really amazing program, curriculum program that we've been able to build each year. So that's just, I want to give a shout out to them, the team, their collaboration for this, that we keep building in a way that just adds to creating a richer and richer program for our students.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Wright.
You're welcome.
Sounds very, very good. Very interesting. Yeah. Mr. Forbes, anything else tonight? No? You're good? Ms. Mosley?
Just one quick word for board members. Underneath your agendas, you'll see that the Chautauqua County School Board Association has released their legislative points that they're looking at this year. There's nothing that has to be specifically dealt with in the meeting format, but this just seems like the most efficient way to get you guys what their priorities are. So, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else, or
No?
we're good?
And anything from the student perspective tonight?
I don't think so.
No,
Just
we're good.
ready for spring sports, warm weather.
There you go. There you go. More days like today.
Yes.
So, okay, so that's basically it. We anticipate the need to enter into executive session tonight to discuss matters pertaining to collective negotiations. Could I have a motion to enter executive session? Ms. Ford, a second? Ms. Hahn, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Drive safe. Students, thank you for coming. Thank you, we appreciate it. And you can come on up, and anybody can sign.